the different ways that you can bring summer color into your winter home to extend the blooming season. You can also get winter color in your house by working the other end of the season, by bringing spring floral display into the house sooner. One of the ways that you can do this is by forcing the spring flowering bulbs and bring them into flowering inside during the darkest and coldest months of the year. Now, the easiest bulbs to force are your daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, and crocus. Now, when I'm talking about forcing, when you plant those bulbs out normally in the ground, generally they're in the moist soil and they're growing roots and they're getting ready, their physiological insides are getting ready to grow and flower. To get them to bloom inside, we have to provide those same conditions, moist soil, cool conditions for a proper length of time to fool them into blooming inside instead of waiting until outside for spring. Now, one of the ways of doing this is to pot them up in regular potting soil. These are hyacinths. Hyacinth's claim to fame is it's very, very fragrant. It makes a lovely display, both for its color, and you can smell these all around the house. They just really, it's their real claim to fame is their fragrance. They're worth growing at least one just to smell the flowers in the middle of winter. Now, cover them with moist potting soil so that the neck is just, the tip of it is just level with the ground, with the soil surface. Now comes the sort of tricky part. You need to keep these cool and moist for 14 to 15 weeks to give it long enough to develop roots and get ready to grow and flower. Now, you'll be able to tell when it's getting ready to bring out and grow in warm temperatures when the growing tips are about an inch and a half, or a half inch to 1 inch tall, and you should see the roots starting to grow out from the bottom of the pot. Now, you must wait at least 14 to 15 weeks. If you go too short a time, the bulb won't be ready to bloom. If you go too long, then you're liable to end up with long, leggy flower stems, which won't give you the quality display that you would like. If you want a sequence of blooms, you're better off starting them at different times rather than starting one batch and then taking them out at different times. Another alternative, instead of planting just one type of bulb in a pot, is to put a mixture. Put in some daffodils, some tulips, and some crocus in the same pot. That way you will get the crocus blooming first, followed by the daffodils and the tulips. A spring garden just in one pot. Now, there is one type of bulb that you don't need to go through all of that trouble for, and that's the Paperwhite narcissus. These are nice. They're probably as close to a foolproof indoor gardening as you can come. They do not need pre-chilling. All they need is some sort of growing media to put the roots down in. That can be potting soil, it can be gravel and water, not just water. You need some sort of solid media for the roots to go in, but you don't need soil, you don't need fertilizer. You just need something to anchor the bulb. It will send up, again, beautifully fragrant flowers. Very easy. It's a good gift for your friends who don't really fancy themselves as gardeners, because it's so easy, it can get them started in gardening when they find out that they really can do something without killing it. One other method of forcing bulbs, particularly hyacinths, is a hyacinth forcing glass such as this. Now, the hyacinth bulb still needs that same length of chilling, 14 to 15 weeks. You can do about 10 weeks of that time just in the vegetable crisper, but you need at least 4 or 5 weeks at the end to establish a root system down in the glass. Now, this is made so that the bulb will sit up on top. You keep the water level to just below the root base of the bulb. You don't want the base in the water or it might rot. You want it just below the base. The roots will grow down into the water, and then when it's ready, 14 to 15 weeks have gone by, you can bring it out into the warmth and it will grow and send out its blossom up on top. Now, when you take them out, any of the cooled bulbs, grow them in a 60-degree room first. That way They'll grow slowly, not get too leggy. Keep them out of sunlight to keep the flowers from fading and to extend the blossom life. So if you want to bring in spring early, think about forcing some bulbs. At least the Paperwhites, they're so easy, anyone can do it.